we must automate, right? Because we don't have enough people actually who want and can work in factories. So there's a necessity to for our society even to basically automate.
Okay, guys, so a big day today. First of all, happy to see you. Max, maybe would you mind sharing with everyone why this is a big day?
Yeah, absolutely. We're very excited. So we just recently closed our seed round with you guys as a lead investor, a 4.5 million round. And we're very happy about it. I think we're very happy to have very great investors. Merantix, our existing investor, also invested in a round. We have people from the industry like Max Fiesmann who invested in us. People from the technology sector, Signavio founders invested in us. So we're very, very excited to have closed the round.
Super. Yeah, we're also very, very excited and very enthusiastic about Deltia. So maybe let's talk about your company a little bit. Can you tell us what you guys do?
Yes, absolutely. So we basically help industrial companies cope with the problem of shortage of skilled labor. So this is one of the biggest problems probably for manufacturing or industrial companies, especially coming up in the next few years. And what we basically do is we use computer vision as the core technology to digitize, especially manual work, to help companies be more efficient in the way they organize their process, and especially also training and helping people train and learn new complex tasks and assist workers on the shop floor. And in this way, yeah, we help industrial companies cope with this shortage of skilled labor by training more people and being more efficient in their operations.
Sounds great. You mentioned computer vision. Maybe Silviu, can you sort of talk a little bit about how this works in a factory and what that means?
Yeah, happy to. I mean, from a customer perspective, what we do basically is we install optical sensors at the line level, and 2 weeks or 1 month later, depending on the processes on the customer side, the customer receives access to a dashboard that then basically continuously receives data on the process that is happening on the line level. And the magic happens in the background. We basically trained large models that are fine-tuned on the manufacturing space that basically detect patterns in time and space. And with these models, we are able to distill everything into very, very small computer vision models that then run on the factory premises at the line level, extracting everything that is necessary for these dashboards to work. I mean, I think this is maybe also what makes us particular. The fact that we're running on edge hardware at the line level. This increases security as well as privacy for the workers. And it also opens the door for many of the, let's say, factories who have a limited bandwidth, right? You are not able to stream as much data to a cloud. So everything is, in this sense, solved on the factory floor.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. You mentioned sort of a few use cases, I would say. Max, can you talk about maybe 1 or 2 like specific things you are currently doing for your customers?
Yes, yeah, definitely. So our focus today is very much on manual process, and for people who don't spend a lot of time in factories, maybe this is surprising, but many things in a factory are still done by human hands, basically. Like even if you have an automated line, you still have the human component who repairs the machine, sets up the machine, sometimes loads material into the machine. Then you have purely manual process like assembly, which is also one of our core use cases, like assembling products, machines. Cars are usually like the end part of the production processes, mostly manual processes actually. So what we basically concretely do is that we digitize, for example, assembly line is the core use case that we have. And today what the customers sort of understand of the production line is how many products are being produced per day or per hour, and how many people do I have at the line. But there's no more granular information about what actually happens on the shop floor. Why do you have maybe deviations from your targets? Where do you have improvement potentials? And this is exactly what we make visible by basically shedding light on a station by station level. So instead of just understanding what comes out of end of the line, we help provide visibility in what happens on a station by station levels. Where can you improve? How can you improve? Is it because people can maybe do certain manual tasks better, like certain assembly steps better? or do they need to walk around too much because the layout of the line is not optimal? So these sort of things we are able to provide. And one of the big things for us is training and best practices. So this is also something that we see consistently across our customers, that the first thing that we detect is the best way of working, basically. Sort of like the golden way, golden badge, golden way of working. So our system automatically tracks candidates for optimal ways of working on a per station level. And this is then documented and then used for training the workers. And this alone already helps you to increase productivity by 10-15% usually, just by retraining everybody on the best way of working.
Okay, super exciting. Maybe, Silviu, to wrap it up, we talk about sort of optimization and efficiency. How long are we away from sort of full automation? So, and to sort of get away from what Max described?
Oh, that's a tough question. I mean, there's tons of videos popping up, right, from companies doing general purpose robotics. It's a huge boost that has happened with the evolution of large language models. And I mean, it's only natural that many people in the industry are now kind of hoping for the silver bullet to solve factories in the dark. And I mean, factories in the dark are a topic for many years now. But we have customers that are building watches. We have customers from different industries. I remember an example with this kind of advanced technologies from general purpose robotics of a robot trying to place a battery in a phone. Insanely complicated example, 100 times slower than a human being. I think that while a lot of advancement has been done, that at least for the near future, the idea is to use this kind of technology to help the human factor become better. And there are a ton of such examples. I mean, we, with our data, are able to detect stations where the process variance is very high, where it is worth introducing automation. But that automation would then lead to, for example, cobots, this kind of examples where the robot would work with the human factor to help against the motion that would lead to ergonomic challenging behavior, right? So large weight and high weight parts that are being manipulated then by the robot, helping the human to basically reduce variance in the process.
Okay, so the synergy between humans and machines is probably.
I think this is what we'll see in the near future. I mean, automation will come in many parts. I mean, we see it in welding and painting and so on, but full automation is still far away.
And maybe also to add from that, I mean, we must automate, right? Because we don't have enough people actually who want and can work in factories. So there's a necessity to for our society even to basically automate. But what you also see and what you wouldn't have if you have a robot is that the human component and the human workers are like optimizing themselves. Like very often we detect like pretty ingenious ways of doing something just because the worker is like doing this for like a few days or for a few weeks or even a few years, and they always finds ways of self-improving, and something that you all like at least for a while maybe don't have for a robot in the same way. So it's basically combining automation with the ingenuity and creativity of the humans, at least for the foreseeable future. Yeah.
It's actually
very cool. So I feel like we could talk about this all day. But for the purpose of also the people listening to this, I think we should wrap it up. So guys, it's been a pleasure as always. And you know, we're super excited about working with you and the sort of the prospects of Deltia. So yeah, thanks for joining us, and thanks for being a part of today's video.
Yes, thank you. We're also very excited.